Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I am coming to you live this afternoon from my craft studio in Wasaga Beach, Ontario. Welcome, Connie's Craft Along. It's where we get to spend some time doing what we love, crafting and crafting together. Uh, Always special. So, yes. Anyway, I hope you have had a wonderful day. I've uh, I've had a good day. I say that and I chuckle because my dear friend Tammy, who is a ski instructor with me at Blue Mountain, I think many of you that follow me know that I am a ski instructor in the winter, not now, in the winter at Blue Mountain. And yes, I live in Ontario, so even though it's called Blue Mountain, it's not like it's not like some serious mountains. It's not like the mountains out west, like the Rocky Mountains, and it's not like all the big mountains that you have down in the States and things. But it's some pretty decent hills, some good height, some good pitch, and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, she had this brilliant idea that we should hike up Blue Mountain today. So we did. It wasn't nearly as bad as I will tell her it was, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So anyway, yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was time with a girlfriend. It was outdoors. It was active. It was all the good things. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. So far, it's okay. My knees were sort of telling me that we had been doing a lot of incline stuff, mostly on the way down, not so much on the way up, but the way down. And I was keeping them bent and I was doing all the right things, and it wasn't pain. It was just like, hey, we're here. So anyway, we'll see. Bit of a cardio workout for sure on the first part. There was some pretty steep pitch there for a little while. So anyway, it was good. It was something different. I have actually never been to Blue Mountain other than when there's snow on the hill. So I'm looking around, it's like, oh, where are we? Oh, that's Legacy. Oh, here we're at Apple Bowl, and oh, there's the Valley Express chair, and it's like it looks very different without snow for sure. And there's things that you don't see. It's like, oh, I never really knew there was a pavement path here. And I did know that there's mini golf down at the bottom of the main chairlift in the village. I had seen that glimpses of that a few years ago. I was there for some reason before the snow, and I had seen that. So I did know that was there, but it's very interesting how different it looks winter to summer. So that was my adventure this morning. So anyway, hello, Kelly. Welcome. I'm glad you could stop by today. Don't know if you're crafting or not, but perhaps you are, and that's awesome. Okay, shall we get to some crafting? Let's head down here. So today we are going to do the technique that is referred to as four corner uh, stamping, four corner crafting, four corner. It's the four corner technique. Four corner stamping, I think, is sort of how people refer to it. So you are going to need a full sheet of, I'm going to say basic white. You could do it on something else, but you're stamping, and so your colors. So you want to be careful with whatever color you may decide to choose, but um, you could use colored paper if you wished. I'm using basic white. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to stamp basically down the center and across the center, right? Creating, um, four corners on the paper. Just observing today. All good, all good. Have you ever done this four corner stamping technique before? It's kind of cool. It's always very interesting because you can never tell for sure how things are going to turn out until you're there. It's not scary at all. But anyway, so what I suggested instructions was that you choose, and there's no right number, no wrong number. You can have too much. It could get too busy, I guess. But 4, 5 stamps that you like that you want to use, and one color of ink for each stamp. And I say that really just so you don't do the mix and match and oh, the stamp into that color and whoops, and whoops, forgot to clean it off before I did that and those sorts of things. So it's not a hard and fast rule. It's a safety rule. Okay, so the other thing that I tend to suggest is that you start with your larger stamps because you can always fit the smaller stamps in your gaps. And it's okay if things touch or overlap, but you don't want everything on top of everything and you want to be able to see things. So if you start with the larger stamps, they're going to take up more space. And then, you can fit the smaller stamps in later. And I'm just going to come and I'm going to do some random stamping down through the center. So I said, you're going to stamp down the center and across the center. It's not a teeny tiny line. And depending on the size of your stamps, it may be, it may be, quite wide. And that's fine. Again, it's crafting. There's no right or wrong, of course. So, and depending what you're doing, if you're doing flowers, you probably don't have a lot of up and downs. If you're doing leaves, you may. It depends what you're stamping. I'm stamping bugs, so there's definitely some up and down to them. Um, so I'm turning them, I'm flipping them so that they're every which way, because then there won't be a way, right? See how I did that? Did you like that? Where do I want this? Maybe right about there. So this is lots of these little caterpillar guys. So I am going to stop there. You can always go back and add more if you feel like you want to do that. That was Granny Apple, by the way, Granny Apple Green. And now we're going to add some ants in Golden Glow. And again, no right or wrong, just, doing my stamping. And don't know whether you want to sit and watch me do all of this. The stamping doesn't take all that long. Perhaps I will. I'll keep going with this for now anyway. Okay, maybe we will stop there with the ants. And then I'm going to come in with hydrangea hue. This little bug guy. Right at the top there. What do we think? Where do we want to go? Stick one in here. I didn't do a lot at the edges of him at this point. We'll see. I can always go back. I'm going to come in with Highland Heather. And I have this little bug with the book. So I have never, true confession, I have never done a 4/4 stamping with images like this. I've done it several times with flower images, with leaves, with some Christmas, ivy and that sort of thing, but not with something so very definitely image, I guess, is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking blue bug in there. I was going to put another Highland Heather one. And what you don't know at this point is what's going to end up exactly where when you put this all together. But we'll do this anyway. And then it'll be different for sure because we have pink beside blue or purple beside blue. Yeah, purple guy in here, don't we? I don't, but we have purple guy over here. Maybe we'll go him. And some of this is going to get cut off because this is a full size piece of cardstock. And obviously, well, no, you could use it full size if you wanted. You could cover your entire card base with it. Uh, but if you saw in my pieces, you saw that not only do I have a card base, I also have a layer. So it's just, just what I put in. You don't have to do it that way. But anyway, so here's where we are. Now, if these were solid images, or even since they're not, I could stop right here. And I'll show you what you do next with this piece. And we'll just leave it like this. So we have all these outline guys. So what I'm going to do now is cut this paper at 4 1/4. And 5 1/2. And sometimes after you cut your paper, you'll see some gaps or some areas that you just want filled in a bit more. And you can always go back and do some more stamping, even though you've now cut your paper. But this is kind of the fun part, right? Where you get to see, oh, look what I have. So here's a card front, and here's a sentiment, and there's a card. Same with this one. This one has more white space, and that's okay. Or you could go back and we could put a purple bug in there if we wanted. And you just kind of look at, which way do I want this? This one, it certainly could go this way, or it could go this way. So several of these you could, I don't like the bug standing completely on her head, I don't think. So I would do that one portrait. But here's another one you could do landscape. So you can see, maybe you want them portrait, maybe you want them landscape, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside for now because here's what I decided to do. Given that I had used all these bugs, I thought, you know what? I'm going to color these bugs. So I got out my watercolor pencils and I kind of, before I picked my ink colors, I was sort of looking at my pencil crayon colors and trying to decide what colors I wanted and how I wanted to do this. And I made this bug's back dark just to create some differences, but that's where the spots are. But anyway, it's a bug. I'm not sure what kind of bug it is because it's purple. And in Canada, anyway, we don't have a whole lot of purple bugs. I think I'm probably happy about that. I'm not overly bothered by bugs, but for the most part, I just like them to do their thing while I do my thing. And You don't have to spend a whole lot of time hanging out together. It's black fly season at the cottage, and that's just not such a happy time, but happens every spring. So, okay. So I don't know that you need to watch me color all of this either. So maybe I'll stop there. So I just went and colored all of that. You can see the bottom half of my paper is missing because I did move on to an additional step. So I cut my paper, but what I have not done, I'll hold this up and hopefully you can kind of see, can you see here and here? Because I've used pencil crayons as opposed to Stampin' Blends or some other coloring kinds of tools, you can see the pencil lines. Okay, so I am going to come in with my blender pen, and I am just going to color over this, which is going to blend my color. Actually, I'm going to stop here and show you. Can you see the difference there, where I've colored with the blender pen and where I have not? So it smooths out all those lines and it spreads your color around and it makes it look very much like watercolor and like you painted and like you're an artiste and all those things. Fooled them again. So now you are going to have to watch me do some of this because I didn't prep anything for this. So just doing all the blue. And if you are using blender pens, oh, a little bit of a bug over there. Let's just put a tiny snippet of color on it, just so it was probably larger, but I have trimmed these down to size. Anyway, when you're finished, you just take a piece of scrap paper and just kind of roll it, and that will get any color out of it. And then you can move on to any other color that you wish. You don't have to worry about color transfer or anything. Now, what I have decided to do, because they do stain, and I use mine in classes and things, is I have labeled one. One is for blues and one is for greens and one's for yellows, and sort of by color family, just because I don't want someone to pick up this with the dark tip and go, "Oh, can I use that on yellow? Is that going to make a big mess?" It wouldn't, but here's my yellow. So, and its tip is much lighter in color because yellow doesn't stain the same way as the dark colors, obviously. If you like to color, this is a fabulous thing. You could do, I mean, you could make your own designer series paper and cover the whole sheet with all these bugs, or you could do the four corners technique, or you could just do individual bugs and color them, because coloring is, if you enjoy coloring, it is very relaxing. We got talking about that last night, and somebody said, "Oh, this is so relaxing." And it's like, well, it is if you enjoy coloring. I know not everyone enjoys coloring, so kind of like fussy cutting. Some people find that relaxing. Do not. I don't mind it. I'm a lot more comfortable with it now than I used to be. I don't know that I would say I find it relaxing. I wouldn't pick it up and do it because it is relaxing, whereas I do like to color. I've liked to color all my life, ever since I was a little girl. So green, oh, green and purple, I guess. This is granny apple green here for my leaves. Go. And I had a maybe over here. Let's get purple. There we go. It does get a bit darker when you color it with the blender pen. And my poor bug's eyes are not as visible now. I guess they come back okay when it dries. So there's the finished card, and I don't know whether you can see on camera or not, but the colors are just much smoother. So yes, it is very cool, isn't it? Hello, Donna. Welcome. So that's one. I should have done the second one, because I have another one here ready to go, and it's but it's not it's not ready to go because I haven't done this blender bit. So maybe I'll just gab for another minute or two, uh, and talk about all things Stampin' Up. If you do not have a demonstrator, and you aren't a demonstrator, and you would like to be a demonstrator, there's a wonderful opportunity to join the Stampin' Up! Family and join our great Stampin' Believers team right now until the end of May. Uh, you get your completely customizable starter kit, $165 worth of any products that you like for $135, and you don't pay any tax on that. And Stampin' Up! Will also include all five, excuse me, all five of the new in color ink pads. So I used this is Golden Glow, and that was Hydrangea Hue. I didn't use the other three today, but you would get all five of them added to your starter kit. So that's if you buy all five at once, they're $90. So that's a big bonus in your kit. And if you buy them individually over time, they are even more expensive. So it's a terrific bonus. And then you will get a minimum of 20% off of everything that you purchase after that. So it's a great way to save money on your craft supplies. And if you want to share crafting with a friend and they would like to uh, support you and they'd like to buy some crafts supplies for themselves, you can actually earn commission from them. So that further helps pay for your craft supplies. So it's a great deal because then you get to craft with a friend, which is always fabulous. Uh, the commission from their purchases help pay for your purchases. It's a great deal. And as demonstrators, we get lots of additional ways to sort of, as I say, double dip on the savings in that we earn commission, but then we also earn Stampin' Rewards. So we are actually saving even more on our purchases. Okay, look at that. I gabbed enough and I finished all of this. You're probably thinking I gabbed more than enough, but okay, so what do we think? Maybe this direction and this direction? So I'm going to ask you to indulge me a little bit. It's throwback Thursday. We're going retro. in that, well, kind of going retro in that we colored, which I haven't, mostly think of as a kid's activity. Um, but I need some baby cards. So I've done baby sentiments and look at this stamp. Do you even recognize that? If you've been with Stampin' Up for a while, you probably remember when we had wood mount stamps. Um, and if not, this is how we used to get our stamps, all of our stamps. There was no choice. This is just how it was. They were wood mount stamps. Um, but this is a lovely sentiment. It just says welcome baby. So it's perfect for making some baby cards. And I needed some. So here we are. Oh, and I was supposed to grab my sponge daubers, which are sitting over around the corner. Okay, chat amongst yourselves. I'll be right back because I was thinking, since we're, doing a bit of a throwback, that we would do a technique on this sentiment piece that we used to do a lot because back in the day, not even really all that long ago, um, we didn't have the dyes and the layering dyes and all the fabulous things that we have now for making things look fancy. Purple's in here. Yes, I mean purple. So where is my Highland Heather? Oh, here we go. Highland Heather. So what we used to do to just, define our stamps and make things look a little bit different was we would sponge the edge of this piece. And it's a great technique. It puts definition at the edge of your sentiment piece without adding bulk. Not that a single layer of cardstock is a whole lot of bulk, but it can add up. And but this is just something different, and it's got um, sort of a random edge to it, right? Because depending how far you lean your dauber is how much ink you're going to get into there, and it's a little darker on right on the very edge of the paper, and a little lighter further in. So it's you got to go. Definitely watch the replay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you could stop by at least for a little while, Kelly, and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. So again, oh, my Granny Apple Green Dauber is it's seen better days. Right now I probably have Granny Apple Green ink on my fingers. So similar to my um, blender pen, I make, okay. I need to get a new dauber. Um, I label my sponge daubers and then you can reuse them over and over and over. But they do have a lifespan. Okay, where's another dauber when you need it? Ah, of course I cannot find it. One moment, I shall return. I thought there was, oh, there is one here. Sorry. I usually keep one here because I know this happens from time to time, and or sometimes I just don't even have them handy, but that one was just not working well. So now we just need to get this guy inked up a bit and get him going. There we go. Yep. So it was. There we go. Okay. And now just need to assemble these. Oh dear. I need to get the granny apple bits off of the card. Okay. So you can do colored card bases if you like. I just cut a bunch of thick basic white card bases because that just seemed like the easiest way to go when I was prepping supplies. I wasn't entirely sure what colors I was going to use. I was like, okay, let's just be safe. We'll just cut a bunch of basic white card bases. So that's what we're using, but we have colored layers. And when you are doing basic white card bases, it's a good idea to use the thick basic white cardstock. It's just makes a much nicer um, card base. It has substance to it. So I think we're going to do this guy landscape like this. Could do him this way, but I think we'll do him landscape. And then I'll have one landscape and one portrait, I think, is how it's going to work out. Unless I glue it down wrong, then we're going with whatever we get. I said this, didn't I? Ah, good memory, but short. There you go. So these are all just standard size layers. So standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And then the colored layer is 5.25 by 4. And I cut this stamped cardstock down to 5 by 3.75. So all just standard sizing, standard layers. Oh, card base. This one we said this way. Yes. Okay. Hopefully, hopefully my sentiment will work that way and not cover up too much of my pattern. I could always do a smaller sentiment, I suppose. But one thing, kind of remembered that, with the wooden stamps, uh, it was a little tricky to get them onto smaller sentiment pieces. And by that, so I had some of these on my desk that I had cut out of some scrap. And I'm looking at my stamp, and it's like, oh, yes, that would fit on there. And it's like, but holy mackerel, that would be a little bit tricky to, to get it on there, get it centered, get it straight, all the things that we used to do, we used to cope with. And now with the clear, uh, even the red rubber on the clear blocks, um, we got used to that. And that's easier to stamp, um, on a small piece. But the photopolymer are really easy. I want to do, maybe I'll put 3 on here. We'll do 2 down-ish and 1 up-ish. And this, I think, was not the side that I wanted. I think, I don't recall why. Because this one actually maybe looks better than this one. Okay. I'm going to just set that down there for a minute. We're going to get out the green apple green ink again. I'm going to put some on this side, and I think we're going to go the other way with this sentiment piece. I guess it wasn't all that bad when I can't really tell which side I thought was the better side. Sometimes at the time you think it looks off, and then you look at it later and it's It's not so bad. Oh, thanks, Don. I'm glad you like them. A little bit more there. Okay. So this, I think, is the better side. I don't know. They're both, neither one is really that bad. But we've now stuck dimensionals on this side. So we've made a decision. I'm, you said you like them. I'm not sure. Perhaps you were referring to the wood mount stamps. I was a staunch wood mount girl. I was like, oh, I don't ever want to go just to the red rubber, the cling, the clear, the I loved my wood mount stamps, but I'm gonna cover up the ants, a couple of the ants there. Now that I am used to the others, when I go back to the wood mounts, it's like, oh yeah, there was definitely you know, some skill and some talent and some finesse and different things that you had to do when you were using these wood mount stamps. So I think it's good that we've got the newer ones now, but I was lazy. That was my problem. I took a lot of care in mounting my wood mounts the first time, and then they were there and they were good, and I knew they were straight and I knew they were centered and all those things. Going onto a block each time, that wasn't as certain. So look, I've also done a little bit of a throwback with some gems, and I thought, oh, let's get some old gems out. So this is a completely retro sort of day here. We have these purple flowers we're going to use. Don't remember when these were out, but no. And I could put flowers onto this one, or oh, yes, I was thinking about these, wasn't I? Green gems to go with the green. I have more of them in here. Maybe we'll do some of these on here just to be different. Oh, you like the cards? Okay, good. Well, thank you for that. There we go. Kind of fun. Like I said, I have never done this technique with such an image oriented stamp set. And I mean, flowers are image oriented, but these are, I don't know, this feels like it's different, but it works. This doesn't really show, this sort of shows the cornering, um, but it's just a different way to come up with some card fronts and make some cards. Okay, clear a little bit of this stuff out of here so we can see the cards, put them up a little bit so they're in view and add me back in. There we go. Okay, so that is the four corner technique. Um, and it's kind of fun. Try it with some different stamps, some different colors. It's a great way to sort of make cards in bulk because you get four cards out of one sit down and stamp session kind of thing. And every card will be a little bit different because you're going to have different stamps in different places. And sometimes you have just a very narrow path of stamping. Sometimes it's wider. All different things. Everyone is completely different. And you really can't tell for sure what it's going to look like until you cut it apart and size it. So it's always a little bit of a surprise, and that's just fun. Alrighty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day, and we're coming to the weekend. So have a great one. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.